So I've just had a look around the big shelter. I was quite anxious about my visit because I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously I've never been to Romania before, so it was all completely new to me. I have to say, I think I built myself up to think it was going to be some really terrible place, but actually it's not like that at all. The first thing I noticed about the dogs was the space they had. When I was told that sort of 4 to 6 dogs can share a kennel, I was thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to be cramped. They're not cramped at all. They've got plenty of space, they've got an indoor part, an outdoor part, they've got natural lighting, which is really important. If a dog is kept really in a dark, cramped condition, obviously they can get sick, they can become depressed, and it's not like that here at all. They've got good natural airflow as well, which, you know, obviously prevents things like kennel cough because you're constantly changing the airflow, which is important as well. Basically, you walk down and it's just a very long line of kennels, is how I would describe it. Line blocks are still quite popular in the UK, and this is no different really. They've all got adequate space to rest, adequate space to eat, they've got obviously water. All of the dogs that I've seen have been quite bright, a lot of them barking, which is a good sign actually, which means that you know, they've got enough energy to do that. They're interested, I'm a new person, they're being inquisitive, which is absolutely natural. That's a normal thing, a normal response from a dog, especially a dog that, you know, is in a space behind bars. They will bark, that's what they do. Definitely, as I said, I didn't know what to expect, and I have to say I was surprised and pleasantly surprised, because it's actually, I can't see there's anything that I would be thinking, oh my god, you need to change that today. There's nothing here that needs an immediate change. Hello. Hello. There's nothing here that needs an immediate change. And this is one of the dogs. So as you can see, lovely and friendly. Hello. I think she's a sprolly. She looks like a sprolly. She looks like my dog. But there's nothing here that needs an immediate change, but yes, there is room for improvement here, but you can say that pretty much about every kennels you'll ever go to. Some of the improvements I think will really make a big difference here actually. You know, I was supposed using things like line blocks, when you're using that kennel design, you have to think about things like dog fights between each kennel. When you're using sort of mesh fencing, or the grid fencing which is used here, you know, if a dog can get its paw or its tail through, then unfortunately a dog on the other side can bite it. So you do have to think about safety for the dogs, and obviously that is an improvement that's happening here. The kennels will now be split. The bottom half will be solid and the top half will be grid, which means obviously it's very, very unlikely that the dogs are going to jump up to actually have a fight. So that's really good. That's being improved. All the inside kennels have raised bedding. Another really important thing for a dog that's kennelled is choice. If they have a choice of where they want to sleep, whether it be on the floor or up a little bit higher or in a corner, then that again is a really big improvement for their welfare and for their mental state of mind really. A dog that has no choice is very likely to unfortunately probably give up and probably become sick and eventually die. I know that sounds drastic, but you know, we're talking in real terms. So that's very important as well. Every dog has choice here, which is, you know, it might be limited at the moment, but it has choice and that's important. The other improvements include, obviously, eventually building a clinic, which obviously very excited about when it gets here, and exercise runs. At the moment, the dogs are allowed out of their kennels just to roam in the area that is this property, which is fine because there's lots of shrubbery and sights and smells, and I'm sure you get, you know, a fair bit of wildlife out there because it is quite a covered area. So, you know, natural instincts will kick in. They probably do a little bit of hunting, I would imagine, out there. But having exercise runs, obviously, another really important way to keep disease transmission to a minimum. You know, you need somewhere that your new dogs can go into that haven't been vaccinated yet. You need somewhere that the ones that have been vaccinated can go. That's really important. Keeping your puppies separate, again, a really good practice to be doing, which you are here, which is is really important. They are probably the most vulnerable dogs you've got here. The old dogs and the young dogs are probably the most vulnerable for disease. So keeping them, you know, a really close eye on and giving them their own space, their own exercise area, their own kennels, their own bowls and all that sort of stuff is really important to keep, you know, disease to a minimum. I suppose another really good feature that I thought, you know, when I got here is just the fact that when they are out, it is like just doing their own thing. It is like being out in nature, because it's not anywhere near houses, it's not anywhere near sort of any sort of traffic or anything like that. It's actually quite out in the open. They're going to have a lot of different smells, a lot of different wildlife and a lot of different shrubbery out here. So I think, again, it's just like, it's quite a nice spot actually. Probably quite a good spot for them. You know, the area that you have here is actually of decent size, and I think the potential here is really good. The exercise areas, when they're built, definitely I would say try and include some of this shrubbery, you know, along the fence, which I know that is in the plans anyway, but definitely try and include that, because I think they like the coverage as well. They can jump out and play with their friends and, you know, all of a sudden leap out and have a play, or hunt if they want to, or if they want to just get away from it all, they can just go off and hide somewhere, which is important as well. Sometimes they don't want to be in the mix of everything, barking with everybody else. They just want to go off and relax somewhere, and that's important to have as well, which they can make. But no, I would say my overall experience of the big shelter, at first, as I said, I was anxious before I got here, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, they're all going to be cramped in some horrible dark little space. But actually it's not like that at all. It's bright, it's airy, it's fresh, you know, and there's always room for improvement in every kennel. Those improvements are being made. I think what is being done here is excellent, considering sort of the feeling about stray dogs in this country. You know, what you've got here is amazing, to be honest, and definitely it would rival some of the kennels in the UK without a doubt. Most definitely it would. So I just look forward to seeing it when it's sort of finished and you've got all your new bits in, your clinics up and running, and you've got your exercise areas. I look forward to coming back and seeing it when it's all done, and I can give you another report then.